Okay, here we are. Hello, everybody. My name is Kate Cherry. I'm the Regional Director of the Athena Network in Bedfordshire and the St Albans area, and I'm joined here today by Sammi Sparke, who is a photographer based in St Neots.
Hi.
In actually, where did we discuss that was? Cambridgeshire. It's not Bedfordshire, is it?
Yeah, it's Cambridgeshire
Yeah,
in
just
the West, yeah.
just over the Black Cat roundabout. So this is one of our member spotlights. Sammi is a member of our Bedfordshire Virtual group, which launched in October last year now. And it's a great group because it enables people who might not be able to travel, or, actually, frankly, no one's traveling anywhere at the moment, but something that will be permanently virtual. So you're never going to have to worry about getting somewhere on time. It's just always going to be on Zoom, and it's a lovely group, and we're so glad to have Sammi with us. So we're coming online today to just do a spotlight on Sammi and find out a little bit more about what she does, how she came to do it, how her business works. So we're going to crack on with that. And so I'm going to jump right in, Sammi, and say, tell us what your business does and how do you help people? Because all photographers are different, aren't they? There's all different types of photography. So tell us about you and what you do.
Okay. Well, I do exist in the real world as well as virtually, so that's something that people should know. um, so I work closely and predominantly with women-led businesses to eke out the selling points of their business and get a feel for the personality of the business, because every business has their own personality, and they certainly should have if they're doing their own branding. And once I've asked them a whole bunch of questions, as well as looked at other businesses that inspire them and the aesthetics of those businesses, because that's so important. So many times a business pops up online, you think, oh gosh, I must remember that because I love the way they do that, or I love their photos, or whatever it is, keep it, bookmark it, put it into a Pinterest board. It's really important. So when we're on the same page, I then create relevant and relatable personal branding photos to help their business sparkle as it deserves to. Is that going to be a good strap line for me?
I
Sparkle.
love that. Yeah, add that to your monthly minutes, definitely.
Okay.
Strap line sorted.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, perfect. And so, how long have you done that?
Well, I HMRC'd my business officially in 2012.
Ah,
So kind of, yeah, about 9, 10 years next year.
oh, brilliant. And
That's
how
quite
did
fun.
you, what's your background? What led to you doing what you do now?
Um, I but my background is media, I suppose, because they're the jobs that I had previously to me deciding this is actually really what I want to do, and that came about because I had quite a lot of ill health in my 20s and teenage years. And when I got my health back, I wanted to see the world more than anything, because I was really close to being not here, basically. And
Mm.
so for me, I wanted to see the world, and that was my biggest thing. So I went out and travelled and went all over with friends and different friends at different points, and I had my camera with me the whole time. And even though my photography had been a hobby as a teenager, taking my camera with me, it meant that I could document kind of the places that I'd been and the people that I'd seen. And I did a talk actually at Petra, which was about how photos can influence your memory in a way that they can trigger a memory, and you think, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that day. This happened and this happened, and that's exactly what's happened with my photos, because I can remember the details of my travels a lot better when I start looking at those photos. So it made me really think about the importance of photography in people's lives. And also, for me, I love people, and people, even though I loved photographing landscapes and all that stuff, people were the thing that made those places special as well. So once I'd gone back into doing jobs in media that were running, I was an auto cue operator. I suddenly thought, nothing is floating my boat like when I had my camera with me. And that's when I embarked on a 3-year degree course, a second degree, um, in photography, to make sure that if I was going to do this as a business, I knew it inside out. So yeah, that was my way in.
That's amazing. And obviously, it gives you a balance that you might not have had if you were in a classic job like you had before with your recovery and your ill health. So,
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why, although I was working in, 9 to 5 jobs every now and again, and then temping as well, I realised with my health, because it's never going to be, basically I've had a transplant, and as a result of that, although I've had the most amazing life I could ever have had since my transplant, my health is still unstable in certain ways. And so to run your own business means you can pick your own hours. You can work when you've got all the energy, whether it's all night. If you're feeling rubbish, then you just you take some downtime. And what I've realised in the last few years even is just how much I can make that my own happiness as well, is controlling the areas of my business and really let myself do the things that are making me happy. And that's literally spurring my business on so much. I think when you get excited about your business, it can fly so fast. So yeah.
And I think you're just listening to you're because you're really tapping into something I love about my health and wellbeing business, which is the positive mindset
Mm.
and thinking positively about where you're at, and with everything you've been through has really carried and symbolized your business, really, hasn't it? So, sparkle with Sammi. I love that.
Yeah, it is. And I suppose one of the things, which again is another thing which is people related, but also taps into my experience, is being a young kid with lots and lots of chest problems. I was put on like these high dose steroids, and as a result, my appearance changed from this skinny little wide-eyed kind of blonde kid to this massive. It make my face look. It made it huge, and as a result, I got quite a bit of stick at school and sort of off the cuff remarks, nasty remarks. And because it happened in my formative years, it really affected me for my whole life. And so I really relate what it's like for people to hate photos of themselves, because as I grew up, even then I was holding this because I kept on being put on steroids. So whenever I did, it was like, oh my God. I used to cut out my face from family photos and stuff. So I really understand what it's like to really have to have photos for your business, but really not like having your photo taken, or really just getting one or two out of a shoot you have with someone that you can
That you
bear to look at. So
can,
for me, having a really close working relationship with my clients is really important, because we if they really don't like anything, we really shoot, and I get to the crux of why they don't like it and angles they do like, and then we start to utilize those. So that's a big part of what I do as well.
I love that, and you're so right. I have so many people who won't do one of these. Not so many people, but I've had people not wanting to do a spotlight, for example,
Yeah.
because of their appearance, and to the point of the photo shoots. When I've done a branding shoot with someone, you're right. I'll pick out. I actually I go, no, 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 into a folder, and I've
Yeah,
got the ones I'll use. But anyone else would look at those photos, my family or whoever, they go, oh, they're great. I'm like,
totally.
no,
Yeah,
it's not. That one's terrible.
yeah.
Because, my eyes skew if or
Completely
whatever.
subjective, and no one else sees
Absolutely.
it apart from you, and you are the one that these photos are going to be of and out there. So yeah, it don't listen to your head going, I know I'm being irrational, because you're not. It's you, so it's important. Yeah.
Absolutely, I think so. And so you've been in Athena now for a few months. So
Mm.
what was it? What attracted you to joining Athena?
Well, for me, like a lot of photographers who do personal branding photography, that is my pipeline. That's my networking, particularly women's networking, is my thing. It's where I get my clients. It's where they get to see my work and also get to know me, because it does depend on the photographer sometimes about who you're comfy with. And once they get to know me, they have the information, and hopefully they'll see my photos at that point. So yeah, that's really important. And with Athena as well, I did a taster session about 18 months ago, maybe longer.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was the then St Neots group,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was really interesting because it was although all women's networking follows the same sort of things, it was different, and it made me, which I think spoke to you about the other day, it made me really start to think, do you know what, this is blooming important. I need to really start to know what I want to get out of that meeting, and really think about prior to the meet, who I want to talk to. So that made me get a bit more focused, and I think that's what I love about Athena particularly. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that sort of not just turning up, ticking a box, I've been
Yeah,
to a meeting.
yeah,
It's
definitely. Yeah,
actually, let's be on purpose. What am I going to get out of it? How am I going to help other people? And
yeah,
how do I want other people to help me?
very
Absolutely.
much so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, perfect. Um, what tips would you have for anyone starting their business? Any woman starting their business?
um don't get too weighed down with the someone who works in personal branding, don't get too weighed down with the whole intricacy of the different branding elements that you need to put together and make perfect, because you need to get a feel for your business first, and you need to get out there, and you need to suddenly work out, because you might think this is your audience, and suddenly you work with someone, you think, oh my gosh, that was wonderful, I want to work with them again. Suddenly it changes. So all your branding, all of your USPs could be out the window. So if you're a newbie, just have those first few years, get some photos. It is important, because if you are not represented online, if people can't see your face, you're not on a winner, because so many other businesses are doing that particularly. So get some photos, get the cheapest package, get some headshots, just so it's your face. Then you can work on how your personal branding a bit later on. So
so true. I love that, because we all start business because there's the thing we do that we love. But we're not a finance director, a marketing person, an accountant, and all of those other bits. So it's like you've taken the words from my mouth. It's so sad sometimes to see someone spending a year setting up, and then they're just sitting there with a lot of cost and overhead waiting for the customers, and they haven't got themselves out there. And so, yes, you need that little front of shop, so get something done, but you're working it out still. So you might decide, you might spend a load of money up front on, say, a website, and then a year later go, oh, actually, that's not me. I've now worked out what I'm doing. Or totally agree with that. And you need to have that pipeline of people coming in, don't you? So
do. And when I had the most catastrophic example of that is that I did weddings for years and years and years, and even slightly before I registered the business as personal branding and work I do now, and I had the most fabulous photos and I enjoyed it, but it got to a stage, and there were several reasons, including what my husband came on to say, you know, what if my weekend's back, and there were all different reasons as far as energy goes with my health and stuff. I thought, I don't want to be taking people's money and knowing that I can't fulfill it later down the line, because I don't know what's going to happen. And so I had all this amazing website set up with beautiful photos, and suddenly I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I spent so much money on all of that, and I'd got the website to the stage where I was really happy, and I'd launched it only very, very recently, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, and it was just awful. So you've got to let your business and your mind breathe.
Don't get caught up in the doing and the admin. Just live it and get out there. And remembering that people, it's not about what your website looks like. Honestly, I'd very rarely look at a website. I'm not talking about you here. I'm talking about generally when people get so caught up in that stuff. It's you I want to know. It's the person and who I'm going to be giving my money to for the service, or who I'm going to be connecting someone with. So I love that. What's next for you and your business, Sammi?
Well, now I am quite far into my years as a personal branding photographer. I am rebranding slightly. So I have a website, and I just wanted to make everything a little bit more cohesive and look a little bit more slick, I suppose. And that's all I'm doing. So I call it a rebrand. The only thing that's changed massively is my logo. And I have I've brought some colours in here and there, but when you're a photographer, you can't have too many colours on your website because it distracts from the photos. So I'm just kind of making my services, my clients, a little bit more streamlined, because that's important as well. I need them to look a little better rather than just chuck in a Word document and fill that in. I need it to look a tiny bit better than that. I'm just really getting to making everything a little bit more cohesive.
Fabulous. And if you had, so we always end our monthly minutes in our meetings with a call to action, because it's really important for people to understand how they can help you. So if you were to give, and I think I might be freezing because my computer's doing the wheel of doom, but if you had a call to action to give people, whether it's how to contact you or what's coming up next that you'd like people to interact with, what would you like to share?
Okay, so for me, I would love people, I'm going to start to use my business page, my personal branding business page a little bit more. That means Facebook and Instagram. So I would really love people to go on there and like it, and then follow any updates, because that would really help me, because then once I start to get a little bit of traction, people commenting a bit more, and that's going to really help me take me to the next stage, is what I'm trying to say.
I love it. Yeah. And with everything going on at the moment as well, it's a funny old time, isn't it? So yes, this is balance of where are we going next, and sort of getting our heads around the situation we're in and continue to be in. So I think that's great to have to continue to think about your direction and where you're going, but at the same time giving ourselves a break because of what's going on, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
Love that. Thank you so much for your time, Sammi. Do you have a handle or something where we can find you on Instagram and
so it's Spark with an E, and then business, all the same word, Spark Business. So that's on Instagram and that's on Facebook as well. But when you come into the page, it will say personal branding photography.
Of course, it's just a handle. Fantastic. That's perfect. And I'll tag that into this as well. Thank you so much for your time, Sammi. I'll come back side by side because I've had you in speaker view. Take care. And if anybody wants to know more from Sammi, that's how you can connect with her. If you'd like to join one of our fabulous meetings or the Bedfordshire Virtual group and come and meet Sammi, then Sammi's group is on the 4th Tuesday of the month, 12 till 2. And it's Bedfordshire as a whole. Or we have 6 other groups in the region, 5 other groups in the region, and a cappuccino connection. So do pop in your question if you'd like to attend. All right, take care and see you soon, Sammi.
Take care.